हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु। हरे कृष्णा माता जी। Fine. I think I will start with a prayer. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय गोविंदाय नमः श्री कृष्ण हरि बोल गोपाल हरि बोल राधा रमण गोविंद हरि बोल जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल. So welcome you all to this Bhakti Sadachar class, and we are just learning the Srimad Bhagavatam prayers. If somebody remember, what was the last prayer which we have completed? I think prayers by
Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj, no?
Chitraketu Maharaj, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Now, today we will do prayers by Prahlad Maharaj. Okay. Gajendra, We will see Satyavrata and demigods. We will see how many we can cover. We'll start with the prayers by Prahlad Maharaj, 7.9 to 50. Yeah. I think from 8, you can start till 50. Somebody can please start reading this.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Murli Prabhu, yes.
Text 8. Prahlad Maharaj prayed, how is it possible for me who have been born in a family of asuras to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness. Then what is to be said of me? I am not I am not at all qualified. Text 9. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic power, yogic power. But I think that even even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. Text 10. If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahminical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujatal, but he is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana in a position of false prestige cannot purify even himself. Text 11. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the devotee does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face is in the mirror is also seen to be decorated. There, text 12. Therefore, although I was born in a demonic family, I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor, as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified by material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. Text 13. O my Lord, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma are sincere servants of your Lordship, who are situated in a transcendental position. Therefore, they are not like us. Prahlada and his father, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Your appearance in this fearsome form is your pastime for your own pleasure. Such an incarnation is always meant for the protection and improvement of the universe. Text 14. My Lord Narasimhadeva, please therefore cease your anger now that my father, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, has been killed, since even saintly persons take pleasure in the killing of a scorpion or a saint or a snake. All the worlds have achieved great satisfaction because of the death of this demon. Now they are confident of their happiness, and they will always remember your auspicious incarnation in order to be free from fear. Text 15. My Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, your mane soaked with blood, or your high wedge-like ears, nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. Hare Krishna Mati. Up
Hare
to
Krishna.
50?
50, Prabhu.
50.
Yes.
Okay, I'll continue. Text 16. O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, you are kind to the fallen souls. I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditioned life? Text 17. O Great One, O Supreme Lord, because of combination with pleasing and displeasing circumstances and because of separation from them, one is placed in a most regrettable position within heavenly or hellish planets, as if burning in a fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of miserable life, any such remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that the only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. Text 18. O my Lord Narasimhadeva, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated souls, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic successor. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. Text 19. My Lord Narasimhadeva, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Text 20. My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but manifestations of your energy. Therefore, since the energy and energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you. Text 21. O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of Karma Kanda, productive activity, and the 16 elements. Who can get free from this entanglement unless he takes shelter of your lotus feet? Text 22. My dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents but you are transcendental to their material qualities. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control, and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I am being crushed by the wheel of time, and therefore I surrender fully unto you. Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet. Text 23. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movement of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Text 24. My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the ant. As powerful time, you destroy you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do wish to possess them. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with you, with your pure devotee, and let me serve him as a sincere servant. Text 25. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert, or in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is this value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never come to the right conclusion. Text 26. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but have put it upon mine. Text 27. Unlike an ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not
Discriminate.
exactly as it delivers goods according to one's desires and makes no distinction between the lower and the higher. Text 28. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well, full of. Where is it gone? I think a little down. Falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as a disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave this service? Text 29. Text 29, Mataji. Little up. My Lord, O unlimited. My
Okay,
Lord.
is it? Yeah.
Now, little raise, please raise. Now it is okay, Mataji. My Lord,
Okay.
O unlimited desire of transcendental qualities, you have killed my father Hiranyakashyap and saved me from his sword. He had he had said very angrily, "If there is any supreme controller other than me, let him save you. I shall now sever your head from your body. Therefore, I think that both in saving me and in killing him, you have acted just true the words of your devotee. There is no other cause." Text 30. My dear Lord, you alone manifest yourself as the entire cosmic manifestation, for you existed before the creation. You exist after the annihilation, and you are the maintainer between the beginning and the end. All this is done by your external energy, through actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, whatever exists externally or internally is you alone. Text 31. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire cosmic creation is caused by you, and the cosmic manifestation is an effect of your energy. Although the entire cosmos is but you alone, you keep yourself aloof from it. The conception of mine and yours is certainly a type of illusion, Maya, because everything is an emanation from you and is therefore not different from you. Indeed, the cosmic manifestation is non-different from you, and the annihilation is also caused by you. This relationship between your lordship and the cosmos is illustrated by the example of the seed and the tree, or the subtle cause and the gross manifestation. Text 32. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, after the annihilation of the creative energy is kept in you, who appear to sleep with half-closed eyes. Actually, however, you do not sleep like an ordinary human being, for you are always transcendental stage beyond the creation of the material world, and you always feel transcendental bliss. As Karunataksha Vishnu, you thus remain in your transcendental status, not touching material objects. Although you appear to sleep, this sleeping is distinct from sleeping in ignorance. Text 33. This cosmic manifestation, the material world, is also your body. This total lump of matter is agitated by your potent energy known as Kala Sakti, and thus the three modes of material nature are manifested. You awaken from the bed of Sesa, Ananta, and from your navel a small transcendental seed is generated. It is from this seed that the lotus flower of the gigantic universe is manifested, exactly as a banyan tree grows from a small seed. Text 34. From that great lotus flower, Brahma was generated, but Brahma certainly could see nothing but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find source of the lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you. However, for when seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. Text 35. Lord Brahma, who is celebrated as Atma Yoni, having been born without a mother, was struck with wonder. Thus he took shelter of the lotus flower, and when he had been purified after undergoing severe austerities for many hundreds of years, he could see that the cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was spread throughout his own body and senses, just as aroma, although very subtle, is perceived in the earth. Text 36. Lord Brahma could then see you possessing thousands and thousands of faces, feet, heads, hands, thighs, noses, ears, and eyes. You were very nicely dressed, being decorated and bedecked with varieties of ornaments and weapons. Seeing you in the form of Lord Vishnu, your symptoms and form being transcendental, your legs extending from the lower planets, Lord Brahma achieved transcendental bliss. Text 37. My dear Lord, you appeared as Hayagriva with the head of a horse. You killed two demons known as Madhu and Kaltaba. who were full of the modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge of Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your forms as transcendental, untinged by material qualities. Text 38. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demonic principles. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Triyuga, or the Lord who appears in three yugas. Text 39. My dear Lord of the Vaikuntha planets, where there is no anxiety, my mind is extremely sinful and lusty, being sometimes so-called happy and sometimes so-called distressed. My mind is full of lamentation and fear, and it always seeks more and more money. Thus, it has become more polluted and is never satisfied in topics concerning you. I am therefore most fallen and poor. In such a status of life, how shall I be able to discuss your activities? Text 40. My dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, the genitals to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch in contact with soft things. The belly, though although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. Text 31. Text 41. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon not only upon me, but also upon all the others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Text 42. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, original spiritual master of the entire world, what is the difficulty for you who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service? You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities, it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore, I think that you will show your causeless mercy to persons like us who engage in your service. Text 43. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and the rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. Text 44. My dear Narsimadeva, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance, not caring for the big cities and towns. They go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence, Mauna Vrata. They are not
Sorry, my Wi-Fi connection got disconnected. Please carry on. Hare Krishna, Murli Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I'm unmuting. Now it is okay. My dear Lord Narasimhadeva, I see that there are many saintly persons indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance. Not caring for the big cities and towns, they go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with the woes of silence, Mount Brother. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all those who are fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to the shelter at your lotus feet. Text 45. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve the and itch. Grahamedis, or so-called grahasthas who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are Dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals. Text 46. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are 10 prescribed methods on the path of liberation. To remain silent, not to speak to anyone, to observe vows, to amass all kinds of Vedic knowledge, to undergo austerities, to study the Vedas and other Vedic literatures, to execute the duties of Varna Ashram Dharma, to explain the Shastras, to stay in a solitary place, to chant mantras silently, and to be absorbed in trance. These different methods of liberation are generally only a professional practice and means of livelihood for those who are not conquered their senses. Because such persons are falsely proud, their procedures may not be successful. Text 47. By authorized Vedic knowledge, one can see that the forms of cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the cosmic manifestation is his energy. Both the cause and effect are nothing but energies of the Lord. Therefore, O my Lord, just as a wise man, by considering cause and effect, can see how fire pervades wood, those engaged in devotional service understand how you are both the cause and effect. Text 48. O Supreme Lord, you are actually the air, earth, fire, sky, and water. You are the objects of sense perception, the life airs, the five senses, the mind, consciousness, and false ego. Indeed, you are everything subtle and gross, the material elements and anything expressed either by the words or the mind are nothing but you. Text 49. Neither the three modes of material nature, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, nor the predominating deities controlling these three modes, nor the five gross elements, nor the mind, nor the demigods, nor the human beings can understand your lordship, for they are all subjected to birth and annihilation. Considering this, the spiritually advanced have taken to devotional service. Such wise men hardly bother with Vedic study. Indeed, they engage themselves in practical devotional service. Text 50. Therefore, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all persons to whom prayers are offered, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because without rendering six kinds of devotional service unto you, offering prayers, dedicating all the results of activities, worshipping you, working on your behalf, always remembering your lotus feet, and hearing about your glories, who can achieve that which is meant for the Paramahansas?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
for an elaborative, what do you say, the
Yes, Mataji.
description
But
about.
they have mentioned only six kinds of devotional services. Actually, there are nine. isn't it?
Yeah, 9 type. But I in this the main things they have
Mentioned.
that is this is the activity related, Prabhu. Offering prayer, something like a practical aspects. So those are like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Padasvandanam, Dasyam, all those things are types of devotional service.
Uh-huh.
This is rendering devotion. That is practically you're doing to the Lord. Like DT service, you're offering prayers and whatever the results you are doing, the karma activities and all, you're just leaving it to the Lord and worshipping Lord, working on his behalf. Like we are doing the kirtan and book distribution and the temple services and all. So always remembering Krishna in the form of chanting and all. So hearing the glories is attending the Gita and Bhagavatam classes and all. This is totally different. So this, yeah, from the very beginning of this prayers, Prahlad Maharaj is saying like, yeah, the first and the foremost thing is to surrender onto the lotus feet, because that is the only way by which one can get relieved. So next he will say that, yes, all the universe, Anantakoti Brahmanda, is made by him, and he is the source of creation as well as the annihilation. So he takes numerous form as per the situation demands, and whenever there is a rise in irreligion and a rise of adharma, he come and he restore it and he go back. Okay. And as a Jiva Atmas, all of us, we are under the 3 modes of material nature, that is Sattva, Raja and Tamoguna, and we try to interact with the material nature, and so will be our actions. Okay. So depending on which mode we are, we try to do that actions. So it is always good to be in the mode of a goodness, to be a servant of the Lord and progress in the bhakti, which is required. Okay. And in the very beginning, if we can see, so many of the demigods and many sages, they have meditated upon the Lord, and they were, most of them, they were successful, them some were not successful, they were mixed reaction for this. But Prahlad Maharaj, he, after listening to the instructions given by Narad Muni, he is consistent in doing the prayers for the Hiranyakashipu. Sorry, for Lord Krishna. So in that way, his father Hiranyakashipu has been killed in the hands of Narsimha Deva, and after that, he is offering a prayer to the Lord, like, now that you have killed him, it is okay. But even the Brahmanas, they have a reaction when they kill a scorpion or a snake, something like that. But whatever the punishment you have to give my father, you have already given him. So why don't you forgive him for his mistakes, what he has done in this life? So he'll ask for the forgiveness of the on his father, on behalf of his father. At the same time, Lord Narsimha Deva will give him a boon, and he will relieve his 21 generations from the cycle of birth and death.
Yes.
And Prahlad Maharaj, being the belong to the Daitya family. He is not from a what do you say, this a divine this thing, or the any of these demigod clan and all. So he is a purely Asura. So being an Asura, born in Asura family, you know, he could achieve that. So what to think about other people? So it is quite easy for them, isn't it? So we just have to have that inclination to serve to the Lord in the form of what do you say, to do the service by engaging ourselves in different type of devotional activities. Okay. And as we establish our connection with the Lord, and slowly we progress in the bhakti. So we should not waste our time in the mundane affairs or any other thing. Rather channelize that energy to be mostly in the mode of a goodness. So that is possible, being in a devotee association and taking the help of a spiritual master, so that our energies are channelized in that way. Okay. In this case of Prahlad Maharaj, so the spiritual master being the Narad Muni, and all devotees, because he's an elevated devotee, and his mother and Narad Muni has given him a background, and he happened to make the sadhana in that way. At last, a Lord has appeared to rescue his devotees. So he is so merciful towards his devotees. So our best thing what we can do is that we should render this 6 kind of devotion service which has been described here, and try to engage ourselves in as much as service towards the Lord. So that is the only way by which we can get purified. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
So shall we
Mataji.
go with?
Very well explained. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for elaborative reading also. Shall we do one more thing, or shall we do it next week? Hare Krishna.
Think we can do next week. More people can join.
Yeah. How about the other people's opinion?
Next week, Mataji.
Next week. Okay. So I just remember, Mataji, next week we have to read prayers by Gajendra. There are so many still prayers
Okay.
pending. How many are there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still 12 more prayers are pending.
Oh my God.
So
If you like, we can continue. No problem. If there are too many pending.
I don't know if you are willing. Okay, pick up one.
No, it's okay for us and for others.
Rest are few only, but these are a bit lengthy ones. 28, 27 slokas are there. We can finish, no? One we will finish.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Prayers by Gajendra. Okay. So next. Anybody else can start from text 2 to 29. Any other Matajis? Anuradha Mataji or Kirti Mataji? Kriti Mataji, sorry.
Mataji, I'm traveling right now.
Pardon?
Mataji, I'm traveling right now. Sorry, Mataji.
Mataji, I'll continue otherwise.
Mataji, from which text number?
Text 2.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
29. Hare Krishna.
29.
Thank you, Murli, for volunteering, but I think Mataji will continue.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Gajendra said, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Person, Vasudeva. Because of him, this material body acts due to the presence of spirit, and he is therefore the root cause of everyone. He is worshipable for such exalted persons as Brahma and Shiva, and he has entered the heart of every living being. Let me meditate upon him. The Supreme Godhead is the supreme platform on which everything rests, the ingredient by which everything has been produced, and the person who has created and is the only cause of the cosmic manifestation. Nonetheless, he is different from the cause and the result. I surrender to him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is self-sufficient in everything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding his own energy, keeps this cosmic manifestation visible and again sometimes renders it invisible. He is both the supreme cause and the supreme result, the observer and the witness in all circumstances. Thus, he is transcendental to everything. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. In due course of time, when all the positive and effective manifestations of the universe, including the planets and their directors and maintainers, are annihilated, there is a situation of dense darkness. Above this darkness, however, is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. I take shelter of his lotus feet. An artist on stage, being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements, is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and features of the Supreme Artist cannot be understood even by the demigod or great sages, and certainly not by those who are unintelligent like animals. Neither the demigods and sages nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord, nor can they express in words his actual position. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. Renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults. To fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed, he comes in the form of a human being like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna by his original internal potency. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a self-effulgent super soul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of the Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all pervading, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nrsimhadeva, to the Lord's form as an animal, Lord Varahadeva, to Lord Dattatreya, who preached impersonalism, to Lord Buddha, and to all other incarnations. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the super soul, the superintendent of everything, and the witness of all that occurs. You are the supreme person, the origin of material nature and of the total material energy. You are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the supreme complete. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, you are the observer of all the objectives of senses. Without your mercy, there is no possibility of solving the problem of doubts. The material world is just like a shadow resembling you. Indeed, one accepts this material world as real because it gives a glimpse of your existence. My Lord, you are the cause of all causes, but you yourself have no cause. Therefore, you are the wonderful cause of everything. I offer my respectful obeisance unto you, who are the shelter of the Vedic knowledge contained in the Shastras, like the Panchatantras and the Vedanta Sutras, which are your representations, and who are the source of the Parampara system. Because it is you who can give liberation, you are the only shelter for all transcendentalists. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My Lord, as the fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literature. Because such advanced souls are transcendental, you personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Since an animal such as me has surrendered unto you, who are supremely liberated, certainly you will release me from this dangerous potion. Indeed, being extremely merciful, you incessantly try to deliver me. By your partial feature as Paramatma, you are situated in the hearts of all embodied beings. You are celebrated as a direct and transcendental knowledge, and you are unlimited. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord, those who are completely free from material contamination always meditate upon you within the course of the heart. You are extremely difficult to attain for those like me who are too attached to mental concoction, home, relatives, friends, money, servants, and assistants. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uncontaminated with the modes of nature, with the reservoir of all enlightenment, the supreme controller. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. After worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who are interested in the four principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation obtain from him what they desire. What then is to be said of the other benedictions? Indeed, sometimes the Lord gives a spiritual body to such ambitious worshippers. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unlimitedly merciful, bestow upon me the benediction of liberation from this present danger, from the materialistic way of life. Unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord worship Him in full surrender and always hear and chant about His activities, which are most wonderful and auspicious. When they always merge in an ocean of transcendental bliss, such devotees never ask the Lord for any benediction. I, however, am in danger. Thus I pray to that Supreme Person of Godhead who is eternally existing, who is invisible, who is the Lord of all great personalities, such as Brahman, who is available only by transcendental Bhakti Yoga, being extremely subtle. He is beyond the reach of my senses and transcendental to all external realization. He is unlimited. He is the original cause, and it's completely full in everything. I offer my obeisances unto Him. Supreme Personality of Godhead creates these minor parts and parcels, the Jiva Tattva, beginning with Lord Brahma, the demigod, and the expansion of Vedic knowledge, Sama, Rig, Yajur, and Atharva, and including all other living entities, moving and non-moving with their different names and characteristics. As the sparks of a fire or the shining rays of the sun emanate from their source and merge into it again and again, the mind, the intelligence, the senses, the gross and subtle material bodies, and the continuous transformation of the different modes of nature all emanate from the Lord and again merge into Him. He is neither demigod nor demon, neither human nor bird or beast. He is not woman, man, or neuter, nor he is an animal. He is not a material quality, a fruitive activity, a manifestation, or a non manifestation. He is the last word in the discrimination of not this, and he is unlimited. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I do not wish to live any more after I am released from the attack of the crocodile. What is the use of an elephant's body covered externally and internally by ignorance? I simply desire eternal liberation from the covering of ignorance. That covering is not destroyed by the influence of time. Now, fully desiring release from material life, I offer my respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Person who is the creator of the universe, who is Himself the form of the universe, and who is nonetheless transcendental to this cosmic manifestation. He is the supreme knower of everything in this world, the super soul of the universe. He is the unborn, supremely situated Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Him. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, the Super Soul, the Master of all mystic yoga, who is seen in the core of the heart by perfect mystics when they are completely purified and freed from the reactions of fruitive activity by practicing Bhakti Yoga. My Lord, you are the controller of formidable strength in three kinds of energy. You appear as a reservoir of all sense pleasure and the protector of the surrendered souls. You possess unlimited energy, but you are unapproachable by those who are unable to control their senses. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose illusory energy the Jiva, who is part and parcel of God, forgets his real identity because of the bodily concept of life. I take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose glories are difficult to understand.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Very beautiful description by Gajendra, isn't it, Mataji? The initial few verses are all about the qualities of a pure devotee. And at the end, he just wanted a liberation from this material body. So for that reason, he is asking for the, he is praying for the Lord. So that first relieve me from this crocodile, then you can just, yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, first release from the
So-
crocodile and then from the material liberation
Yeah,
from
then
the
material world, material body. So yes, so most of the time we are entrapped in this what do you say, this material life, and it's very difficult for anyone to take the shelter of this what is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. And it's very difficult to understand also. Now that he being in a elephant body, he got that realization that he should be relieved of this. So kindly first help me out, and then you relieve me from this. So like that, Gajendra is asking for prayers to give him the moksha. So there's a story behind that. When we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we will come to, he's a king in his previous life, because of some
King
yeah,
Indradyumna.
for that. Yeah, so he'll be born like an elephant, and now that he has taken his karma cycle. He wanted to get relieved out of it, and he wanted to get liberated to the higher planets. Yeah. Okay. Hope we have covered one. Next week we will try to cover. A few are there. I think they are less only, but a few prayers are a bit lengthy. Okay. We will see how best we can go. Okay, fine then. We'll conclude the session for today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, participants, for your active participation. See you all next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Hare Krishna.